Sarah Michelle Gellar, and the American remake is coming out, I think, at the end of this week or maybe next week. And the American remake, which I've seen, is pretty good, but it's not as terrifying as the Japanese original.
And that's what you've got in your hands?
That's what we've got to give away. We've got 4 copies.
Ooh, well, you could be winning one of those if you are the winner of this week's mummification competition.
I'm a mummy.
It was a bit feeble at the start, wasn't it?
I had to turn it up. Didn't check the levels on that one. So, basically, my ma is, you know, quite an old woman, and she gets a bit addled sometimes. And you have to basically guess what she's talking about. This week, she's talking about a TV show. I'm not going to say any more than that because it's pretty easy. So stand by your phones, 0871 222 1049, and be prepared to negotiate a certain amount of switchboard fun there, but stick with it because I think this competition's quite easy. 0871 222 10. What my ma is going on about here.
Well, there's this girl who is really ugly looking and gross in many ways, and she shares a flat with this man, and she's convinced that she's absolutely lovely, and everybody's madly in love with her. And then the man is very funny. He prefers men to girls, so she's not going to get anywhere with him at all. And it just goes from one hilarious episode to another. It's great fun, and I'm so sad it isn't on any longer.
I'm a mummy.
Do you know what that is, Joe?
A man who likes men, not girls.
Prefers them to girls.
Television.
I know. It blew my mum's mind.
Living rooms. Disgusting.
But so that's pretty easy. Well, how are we doing there, Lila? Have we got lots of people phoning in?
Is that easy?
Okay, so all you have to do is call 0871 222. You don't think that's easy, Joe? Did you not get that one?
You know, I got it because I overheard you saying it
okay,
earlier.
right. 0871 222 1049. If you knew what my mum was going on about just then, we'll have a winner for you after Graham Coxon.
I'm a mummy.
And we've got a winner for you. Dave, are you there? Dave.
Well, afternoon, in fact.
How you doing?
Not so bad, not so bad.
So, Dave, talk us through your reasoning. What did you think my mum was talking about? Don't say what it was yet.
Well, I thought it was a very funny comedy that's on BBC Two.
Yeah.
Repeated, I think, on UK Gold as well at the moment. Very, very hideous looking lady, shall we say.
Wow.
Not very nice.
Yeah, I guess she is in the show.
Is it Liam or Noel from Oasis, I believe?
Same sort of haircut.
Yes, there's a little shrine
Yeah.
to him. And the guy is very, very camp, very over the top, I think.
You're such a tease, David. Come on, say it. Say the name.
Oh, it's Gimme Gimme Gimme, of course.
Of course it is. Congratulations, Dave. That was pretty easy, wasn't it?
It was.
Do you like that show, David?
It's alright, it's alright.
It's all right.
Couldn't watch a whole series.
And are you as sad as Adam's mum that it's come? Has it come off?
Yeah, it's not on anymore now. I'm sure it'll be repeated, but they're not making any new ones.
Oh, I can't wait.
Kathy Burke's a well-respected theatre director now.
Really? I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
I saw her on Frank Skinner the other day. She was quite sarky. She gave Frank Skinner quite a run for his
I
money.
can imagine that.
It was enjoyable to see.
And David, are you excited about seeing The Grudge?
Very, very.
Does it matter to you that Sam Raimi, the director of Spider-Man, says it's one of the most frightening films I've ever seen?
That scares me, actually.
Yeah, he's the man that directed The Evil Dead.
I'm actually quite worried now.
Yeah, it's genuinely frightening, this film.
Well, that's on its way to you, Dave. Thanks so much for calling in. Have a good weekend.
You too.
All right, take care. And Darkman was on last night. That's Sam Raimi as well, wasn't it?
That is. That was the low point of his career.
Right, it's a very odd film.
It's an odd film, but it's still got moments of inspirednicity.
It does, yeah.
Yeah.
But there's about 9 sequels as well, aren't there?
Yeah, but none of them to do with Raimi, I don't think.
No. It's one of those films that started not so good and then just got worse and worse and worse throughout its sequels. They're very odd. Some of them look as if they were made in an afternoon in a shed. Anyway, this is Adam and Joe on XFM. We'll be back after these. XFM. Franz Ferdinand with This Fire. This is Adam and Joe here on XFM on a drizzly Saturday afternoon.
And remember, you can text us on 83XFM, or you can email us, adamandjoe@xfm.co.uk, at any point about anything that you hear in this fascinating show. And all emails and texts are read by me.
Thanks very much indeed to James Mill, who is the first person to have sent in a school mag. I've been appealing sort of randomly for school mags. He sent in The Record. And what is the school that he goes to?
What is the school that he goes to?
And I'm just basically encouraged. I've been reading school mags recently and getting quite a lot of laughs out of them. And I just wanted to see other people's mags. So you can send them in to Adam and Joe, XFM. Here's the address. Have a pen and paper handy. Number 30, Leicester Square. And the postcode is... Oh, it's being... WC2H7LA.
So one of the great things about this school mag, that what's his name, James?
James, yeah.
Has sent in, thank you James, is that he's graffitied all over it. And this was obviously around the time of the first Harry Potter film, because he's put wizard hats on a lot of people. He's put lightning bolts on a lot of teachers' foreheads, and he's obsessed with any kind of pictorial anomaly that suggests genitals. So for instance, there's a rugby player, a photo of a rugby player, and the two strings from his rugby shorts are sort of flapping while he runs. These have been circled,
Yeah.
and a question mark next to them, as if he's got a willy that looks like a bit of string,
Yeah.
which is funny stuff. He's also made broadcaster Nick Ross, who is the subject of a school magazine interview, into Hitler. And he's extended the arms on everyone in the school photo, quite amusingly. You know, I hope, James, you did this years ago and not specially for us. There's a picture of Mr. T in Y-fronts over the under-14 rugby results. And so it goes on. The whole rugby team have been given dark glasses, every single one of them, and won a large Mexican hat. This is the kind of thing we're after, isn't it, Adam? Is this the kind of thing you were looking for?
Not really. I was more after the
Not
actual
really.
content of the mag.
Well, I haven't even got to the content of the mag, and already I'm hypnotised by the amazing graffiti ideas.
See, I was thinking once we had enough mags, then I was going to go through some of the best creative writing in
Okay,
there.
I can help you with that in a second.
Yeah.
But I should mention that the cricket first and second 11, there's a guy whose the corner of his jacket is sitting in his lap in a weird way, making it look like a sort of mysterious black blob in his crotch. This too has been circled and question marked,
Of course.
as if he's got a weird black
And in a way,
knob.
you have also circled and question marked it by
Yeah,
mentioning it.
By mentioning it.
So what's your creative writing?
Well, because Adam had mentioned school mags, and I found a poem that I wrote in 1980, or maybe 1981, and it's called Fish.
Okay.
Have we got any good sort of poetry reading music to play under it? Can we go to a record and come back to Fish?
Let's see what we've
Because
got.
it's a good poem. It's all about fish.
You know what? We'll just use our old regression therapy music. How's
Okay.
that?
Okay, this is Fish by Joseph Cornish, class R1. Fish darts, swerves and cuts through its liquid home, blowing its pearls of life, its pearls of wisdom. Wide-eyed it peers wearily through a noiseless barrier and darts on again. A road blocks, no sorry, not a road, a rock blocks. It casually quivers past it, senseless of the obtrusion. Its glowing form reflects the water around it. Obtrusion?
Yeah.
I don't even know what that means now, let alone when I was 10. Blah, blah, blah. A school swims with it, a silent gathering, with no purpose but to swim, senselessly, silently, silhouetted through the simmering sea, to go forward to whatever lies ahead. I'm going to skip a couple of verses.
How long is it?
Wait, it's very long, but here's the end. Basking in the sun, magnified by the flat lens of the water, then hooked, by mouth, by hook, and killed, and eaten, and gone. Fish.
Is
That's
that
the end.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
So
devastating.
it's a brilliantly thank you. It's a brilliantly alliterative poem about a fish, and then it ends with a very powerful act of violence that makes one question our relationship with fish,
Yeah.
and our relationship with fish and chips, and the idea of eating fish, and is it cruel, and how can you eat something so beautiful? I could similarly have written a song called it should be a song, shouldn't it? A poem called Piggy.
Yeah.
Piggy, pink piggy, snorting, snuffling, searching for truffles.
If
Then
only
bang.
they could fly, actually they will fry.
Yeah,
That kind
that's
of thing.
good, that's good. Then
You-
at the end, bang,
Let's talk
slice,
pork.
sizzle, bacon,
Yeah.
dead.
Oh,
Then a pause, then piggy at the
wow.
end. So I think people could send in their
That's what I'm after. Is
school days
the
poems
I
as
like
well.
the creative writing. Yeah, I mean that's what I'm really after. I must say. Although there's lots of other interesting articles. But next week it would be. I would really like to be in a position where I can read out some poetry from these mags. So please do send some more in. Once again, a reminder of the address to send stuff like that to is Adam and Joe, XFM, number 30, Leicester Square, WC2H7LA. Now, here's the first of our super free plays this week. Joe, this is one of yours, and you had it for Ditties in the Dock last week.
Yeah, this is my kind of failed Ditty in the Dock slot, and this is Crosby, Stills and Nash with Marrakesh Express. And before you play it, have you queued it up when the music starts, or for the funny little bit of talking?
Oh, I couldn't hear the talking. It's too quiet.
Can you turn it right up and have a listen to it so we can try and figure out what they're saying?
Okay.
Because there's some very weird, is it Indian or maybe Moroccan being spoken at the beginning of this song? And I'd love to know what it means if anyone out there knows this song. Can you hear it? Can we play it?
It's DQ'd itself now. Hang on.
Oh dear, we're having technical problems.
Well, it was all lined up. It was ready to go.
I'm sorry.
Okay, here we go. Oh, hang on.
That was it, we could hear that nice and clearly. What's he saying there?
Wuba hamasehufa hekigegeshkush.
Do you know what he's saying, listeners? Let us know. Here's the full song.
Hang on. Can't just spring these things on me. Okay, here we go.
Yeah. Bye bye, Crosby, Stills and Nash.
That's the Marrakesh Express. Yeah.
Off they go.
CSN. Oh, it's just CSN, isn't it? No,
What?
no Neil Young at that stage.
No Neil Young, no Young.
So this is Adam and Joe here on XFM, and what was I gonna say? Oh, it's gone out of my head. I was gonna say, did you watch The Power of Nightmares?
No, but I know what you're talking about. The Power of Nightmares is a powerful BBC documentary about how politicians have used fear to subjugate us.
Yeah, more or less. Yeah, basically just saying that the terrorist threat, and particularly the idea of Al-Qaeda being this big organised evil network, is more or less a piece of fiction. More or less. Obviously, you can't ignore the fact they have actually done some atrocities. They've done some atrocities.
There was them buildings what went down on the telly.
Yeah, that right. Yeah, damn atrocities. Shouldn't really be talking about it like that, but there you go. But it was an amazing watch, and I'm not going to talk too much about the documentary itself.
He's called Adam Curtis.
Adam
the man
Curtis.
who made it. He's
There
a
you
very
go.
famous documentarian.
But it was a weird experience watching it, because whether you agreed with it or not, it was one of those sort of very well researched polemics that made you actually quite comforted at the end, because the central conceit was that maybe we shouldn't be quite so terrified and get on with our lives a little more, because some of these threats have been created to prop up not only the neoconservatives in
I hate
America,
them.
The Bushes of this world,
Yeah.
but also the extreme Islamists as well.
Yeah.
They have their agendas, and this idea of the threat of terror props up their various agendas, and actually isn't quite as real as they would like us to believe
Yeah,
it is.
but that's kind of what Michael Moore's film, Fahrenheit 9/11, says as well. Have you seen that one, Adam?
Haven't seen it, no.
Yeah, it's but basically the same thing. That's one of its messages.
Yeah.
I didn't see the Adam Curtis film, but it's a similar sort of message. But it's true to say that, I mean, when I was a kid, there was an IRA threat all the time. And all the time I've lived in London, there's always been the threat of some sort of explosion or bomb or something. And one or two little things have happened, but basically I've been able to go about my life playing video games, shopping, going to bars, pretty much uninterrupted.
Yeah, we
for
should
the
say,
last 30
obviously,
years or so.
for the victims of those atrocities, they weren't little things, and occasionally terrible things do
Yeah.
happen. But yeah, you can't make concessions to them to that degree.
And you're not a very fearful man. In fact, I remember while we were making the Adam and Joe show in Brixton, and there were riots going on around the office, I was a bit too frightened to come in to complete a toy movie, but you me for being nervous about the riots.
I remember videoing them
Yeah.
and thinking that I might be able to flog them to some TV channel, but I didn't get any good stuff. But I was going to say that the experience of watching it was